Welcome to Glass Half Full with Leslie Krongold. She shares her stories, experiences, and knowledge of living and coping with a chronic health condition. Learn about tools and resources and hear inspirational interviews that help you to live a life filled with quality and dignity. With 2 decades of support group leadership, Leslie's ready to help you make lemonade out of life's lemons. Are you ready?
Hello. I hope you're all thriving during this chilly, sometimes wet holiday season. Unless you're in the tropics, then you're probably not too chilly. Tonight we're anticipating another atmospheric river, which I'm not sure if that's as treacherous as the bomb cyclone. In any case, I'm grateful to be inside and cozy. Grateful. There's so many things to be grateful for. Even during some turmoil, if we can try to experience a little gratitude, it can really make the hard stuff more manageable. Often when I would facilitate in-person support groups and the tone might start to go downhill, I would try to remind people that they were able to get themselves out of their house and show up at the location of our support group meeting. For many people, those with physical disabilities, that takes a great effort. Yesterday, I was facilitating an online support group, and the theme focused on the holidays, the pros and cons of coping during the holidays. And you don't have to have a physical disability to be aware that the holidays can be bittersweet and stressful for people. So in preparation for the meeting, I had the opportunity earlier in the week to attend an online panel discussion about coping with the holidays when you have a chronic health condition. One woman on the panel had cystic fibrosis, and she shared how she would always feel the tension between gratitude and profound sadness during the holiday season. Another woman shared about practical tools that she uses to help move through some of the holiday challenges. She keeps a talisman or physical token buried in her pocket, and I think hers was a lucky stone. She has an ally, and that for now is her son, who she feels understands her challenges. And the third one is a personalized ritual, and unfortunately, I can't remember what her ritual was, but it could be anything that helps ground you. So, once we approach Thanksgiving and this whole season, we hear the term gratitude everywhere. Not just with Hallmark made for TV specials, but it's in every email message, from the cat food you buy to your bank, as well as any organization you've donated to. It can start to lose meaning, especially when, the intention of the email is to get you to buy something or donate money. But I am a big fan of gratitude. So I want to share someone's story with you that is rooted in gratitude. So, like many of you, Zooming has filled the void for me during the pandemic. One of my favorite Zoom outlets has been a virtual happy hour with friends from high school. And for the first year, the pandemic, I was doing it weekly. But now it's a monthly gathering. And our gatherings have ranged from 12 or so people on Zoom to at least there was one time when there were only 2 of us. And my consistent partner in happy hour crime has been Amy. I'm so grateful for her and the fun we've helped cultivate with our old classmates. You know, these classmates from 40 years ago. Some were friends, but many were just acquaintances. In fact, because Amy was a year ahead of me, we really didn't socialize much. In elementary school, we were stuck with those in our grade. But Amy and I were in brownies together. So I think that's how we really know each other. And if I weren't still unpacking boxes from my recent move, I would share a photo of our brownie troop. So it is through the Charger happy hour that I learned about Amy's story, her health story that required traumatic brain surgery. I started by asking Amy when she was diagnosed.
6 years ago. I was actually diagnosed and operated on within a week.
So what led to the diagnosis, and was it called brain cancer, or what was it called?
No, I actually had a meningioma, which is a type of brain tumor. And what happened was, I guess the kind I had is a slow growing tumor. So it could have had up to 10 years to grow. So the symptoms came on gradually. And I knew something wasn't right. And whenever I'd go to see my doctor, I'd say, I'm not feeling right. Something's off. But my doctors never sent me for additional diagnostics. They never referred me anywhere. They just kind of wrote it off. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, is this menopause? Is this what was supposed to be happening to me? And I ignored it. But little by little, my daughter saw it, and then, she's the one that actually took action. She got her father involved, and he and I had been divorced for many, many, many years, but we still got along. And I was living in North Carolina, and they decided to have a little intervention and drive up there. And her father was convinced I was depressed. And then he thought, when he saw me, I guess the side of my mouth was drooping a little bit, and he thought, well, maybe I had had a stroke. And so they brought me back to South Florida, and I went to his house. And I guess like within a day of getting there, I was not acting myself. So they took me to the ER, and they were going to discharge me. And he says, no, maybe you need to, do some testing. So that's when they did a CT of my head, and they found it. And they weren't letting me out at that point. So they admitted me immediately. And I was supposed to have, that might have been on a Sunday. And I was supposed to have surgery on Thursday, postponed until Friday, but it was all within about a week that I got to South Florida. They took me to the ER, they diagnosed me, admitted me, and then I had traumatic brain surgery. And the surgeon, who was fabulous, loved the surgeon, he labeled it the grapefruit and said it was the size of a grapefruit. So it was pretty massive. I mean, I know other people that have had this same kind of tumor, and they say this is the good kind of brain tumor to have. And supposedly this one had clean margins. So when they took it out, they were able to get everything. One of my friends has the same one back behind her ear, and I guess where it's located, they could only do partial removal. So she still has a piece of her tumor in her head. Wow. And another one of my friends, her husband had the same tumor, and he has been impacted by it, and he's not able to fully function. So he's disabled at this point, but it's one of those that you can survive. I mean, it's a good kind. I know.
What were the symptoms? Were they all sort of emotional and cognitive, or were there physical things?
Physical too. I mean, first off, my vision was impacted, my hearing was impacted, my balance was impacted. I didn't realize, but looking back, I guess I was having some headaches, but it wasn't enough. And I've never had migraines, so I don't know, when some people talk about headaches, I mean, these weren't those kind of headaches, but I was having some headaches, and I guess I blacked out a few times, and that must have been what happened at my ex's house that freaked them out, and they took me to the ER.
And you were working full time during previous?
No, I actually was put into a layoff, and so I was not working for a while before I was diagnosed.